Hey everyone, this is Coach Phoenix,
And I'm Coach Gina.
and this is Toast with the Coaches. Cheers!
Cheers! Hi everyone, thank you for joining us and welcome to Cheers, the show where we drink, talk about life, the universe, and all that other jazz.
So I'm Coach Phoenix. I'm the owner and CEO of Role Model Life Coaching LLC. Now, what's Role Model Life Coaching, right? Role Model Life Coaching LLC, we help people navigate down the road of life towards their model self.
You guys really got to hit up Phoenix. He is an amazing person. He is an amazing coach. And seriously, you will be missing out if you do not hook up with him and hire him as your life coach. At least have an intro session with him. Check him out. He's amazing.
I appreciate that, Gina.
Absolutely. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Now the people want to know who you are.
Well, I am Gina Erickson. I am a certified life coach and the founder of Clear Focus Coaching. I specialize in helping entrepreneurs untangle the challenge of starting up a business, finding work-life balance, and staying accountable to their goals. I also specialize in empowering women. I help women recognize their inner strength and their true potential in work, life, and relationships so that they can face every day with confidence and intention.
So that means is if you're a woman or a man or woman that's trying to start their own business, you definitely should holler at Coach Gina for that.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So at this time, I would like to raise a toast to the two of us. For tomorrow, there'll be more of us, you heard?
Cheers. I like your Hamilton reference there. That's clever.
You peeped it.
Yeah.
Are you a fan?
Yeah, absolutely. How about you?
Yeah, I be, right? Because
yeah.
So I've been going to Broadway. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. So I've been going to Broadway since I was a kid. In my head, I'm lying. So I'm from Broadway. So when I was able to, I definitely took advantage of it. And now I'm a huge fan. And Hamilton is actually my favorite Broadway show. And that's before Disney. I watched it live twice. So yeah.
Mine
really?
too. It's so good. Yeah, I was fortunate enough when they came through Minneapolis. That's where I live. I was able to get tickets the first year that they came through, and it's such an amazing show. It's beautiful. It's funny. It's all of the things. It's so good.
Exactly. But it's funny that you're a Hamilton fan and I'm a Hamilton fan and we both in the Broadway. That's kind of how we built this connection as work colleagues turned into the show, because we have so much that's alike. However, we're so different in so many ways, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about that today so for those of you who are watching who don't know, Phoenix and I are actually very recent friends. We met a month ago when we were pursuing continuing education for our coaching programs, and there was just something about Phoenix that was like, this guy, there's something about this guy that just resonated.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I heard you deliver your TED Talk. I was like, man, it was powerful because, with my personality, my TED Talk was kind of powerful. But when I heard yours, I was like, wow, it had this tone. You had this mild tone, but your delivery still gave me the goosebumps as somebody who's very boisterous. So kudos to you, and I had to collab. So I'm glad we was able to do this and put this together. So cheers to that.
Cheers, 100%. You got to drink after cheers. It's rude if you don't.
Exactly. Drink with us. You heard? So I think at this time, they know how we met, but they don't know who we are. So let's give them a little bit about exactly who we are. Tell them who you are, Gina. Who's Gina?
Whew, it's a big question. That would be a whole YouTube series in and of itself. So
give them the quick version.
Highlights.
Yeah, the highlights.
Oh man. Okay, so I'll begin at the beginning, I guess. So I was born and raised in a rural town in Michigan, about 30 minutes outside of Flint, hour and a half north of Detroit. And It's just a really small town, about 300 people.
Did y'all have
I
y'all water too? That
Oh,
was a
well,
shot.
no. Well, we so
That was a shot.
we actually had well water, not city water, but if we did have city water, we would absolutely have had that problem. But yeah, rural Michigan. I grew up with my older brother, older sister, my parents. Very, very poor. I would say probably close to the poverty line. It's hard to tell when you're a kid, but as you get older, you start looking back and you're like, oh yeah, there was reasons that we didn't have this or that, this other thing.
Okay. Yeah. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to eat cereal at night. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. We had Mountain Holler and not Mountain Dew. Interesting.
Holla.
Yeah, so grew up there, lived in Michigan for the first 18 years of my life. I was homeschooled growing up, K through 12, which I say homeschooled with heavy quotation marks because that education was my parents pointing me at a bookcase when I was about 3 or 4 years old and saying, read. Um, yeah, so it was very unstructured, very, I was kind of self-taught. I just whatever
Yeah.
books I happened to have access to, I read. Um,
So it was
and
no
then
structure at all. It wasn't like they was getting books from the public schools and giving it to you, or they wasn't like. How did that work? You just reading magazines and being like, oh, okay, this is like, how did that work?
no, there really wasn't. It was just I was kind of free to do whatever, whenever, however. And I guess they just hoped that I would learn.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then when I was about high school age when my parents enrolled me in like an online school, and because I didn't have any experience with structure or taking tests or anything like that, I ended up failing out in high school and I got my GED.
That's crazy. So when you went to high school, that was like a world within the world, right? You was like, whoa, what the F word? Ah, fuck that. You was like, whoa, what the fuck?
So yeah, so after high school, I met my first boyfriend when I was 16. I moved to Minnesota when I was 19. Was engaged when I was 18, so I moved here to Minnesota for my fiance and got married at 20.
Wow. Happened pretty
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. And then almost as quickly I got a divorce. So 2 years later, I was divorced. Um,
It's funny how that works, right? So y'all was together for 4 years, but married only 2 years.
yeah.
That's interesting. We have to do an episode on that. And I definitely want the viewers to like comment and give us some feedback live if possible, because that's a conversation that's very dear to my heart as well. Gina, I told you we got a lot in common. You heard? Continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. So yeah, so I got married, got divorced. I was in a really strict religion at the time. That it was very misogynistic. It basically they didn't come out and say it straight away, but it had the undertones of what a woman should be, that she should be meek and modest and, keep the home and take care of the children and, yeah. And I was just like,
Yeah.
this isn't who I am or who I want to be. So kind of through that process, I ended up becoming kind of a shitty person. And I
Why you
hurt
say
a
that?
lot of,
Why you feel like you became a shitty person at that time?
so I ended up cheating on my husband. I
Mm.
didn't sleep with anybody, but I did kiss somebody else and had more of an emotional affair. And I recognized through that experience that the life that I was living wasn't me, and I was lying about what I actually wanted.
And that's crazy. And you know what where that come from, right? That comes from when you're in situations that you're living a life that isn't yours, and that's important to everyone. People, and I get to that more with my story and my philosophy. But you have to live your true self, because if you out here living a lie or living someone else's dream, then you watching your life go by, and when you die or you in your deathbed, or you look at your life and reflect on it, and you say, what have I done with my life, or why am I not happy? It's because you're not living your life. You can't be happy if you live in someone else's life, because the next step and the step after that, you don't know what to do because it's their life. But if you live your life, you know exactly what to do. Good choice.
Exactly.
I understand. Like you said, you was 20 years old when that happened with your ex-husband.
Well, I was 20 when we got married, and then I was about 22 when we got a divorce. It was only about a year that we were married before I was like, I want out of this.
Yeah, yeah. It was those growing pains and the commonality between you and I. So go ahead. So you cheated on him. Then what?
Yeah. Well, so he found out, and we talked about it. We tried to
How
stay
you found
married.
out? Did he tell him, or like did somebody spot? Like how'd that happen? Was you like on cheaters or something?
He had access to my computer,
Oh
and
man.
he found some text messages between me and another guy. So we tried to work it out. We tried to do counseling. We tried to do that. And like I said, it was just the religion and the marriage and the person that I wanted to be just didn't fit. So, and I also knew that I didn't want to hurt him. I told him, I was like, this isn't fair to you. The person that I am right now is not who I want to be. And, the pain that I caused him is not something that I ever want to do to somebody ever again. And the only way to do that is exactly what you said, is to live your truth and to live it boldly, so people know where you stand and know what you think and know how you feel.
Nice.
So yeah, we got a divorce. I left my apartment, left my church, was estranged from my family. It was I just burnt it all down, like everything all at once, burned it down. Kind of 30 years of living in 6 months worth of time, essentially.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
But, I sought out a therapist. I started talking to people more and started just listening to my heart and what I actually wanted and who I actually was. And that's why I'm here today. I want,
Was it some like was it anybody in particular that supported you during that time when you was going through because I know if you was living with your husband, that he like try to kick you out. How did that happen? Like how did that
Yeah.
you land back on your feet?
Yeah. So there was a few people that were there for me, definitely. Actually, my current husband was one of them. He, quickly became one of my best friends and just really saw me through the situation.
Shout out to the homie. Shout out to the hubby, you heard?
I like him. And yeah, there was actually a friend that I had. Her name was Kelly. She was a coworker, and she and her girlfriend at the time, now wife, they had a spare room in their house, and I was just like, "Can I rent this room from you?" And she let me, which was huge for me because the church that I grew up in and the kind of morals that I grew up with were very anti-gay, very anti anything but cisgendered. So the fact that somebody from this alternative lifestyle was the person who was there for me to really support me, it really helped to change my perspective on who people are and how I judged them, and how like you can't judge somebody's heart by anything but their heart.
Exactly, and I'm glad you touched on that, especially the things that like the situation, and I mean the things that are going on in our current climate in America, with all the hate and it's crazy how individuals judge anyone based on skin color, sexual orientation, social economic status. Like those things is outlandish to me because everybody's the same, and I'm a testament to that because I came from a horrible socioeconomic status. I'm Black in America, and now if you look at me, I'm nothing like I used to, but I'm the same person. But people treat me different. That's weird to me, So
Yeah.
I definitely feel you on that, Gina, man. Shout out
Yeah.
to the LGBTQ community. You heard? Word.
I mean, to your point too of judging people by their heart. I go back to the reason that we wanted to do this collaboration in the first place, which was recognizing that you and I, if you just look at us, you're a man, I'm a woman, you're Black, I'm white, you live in the South, I live in the North. Like
I'm from Brooklyn. You from Michigan.
yeah,
You
I'm from the country.
Hell yeah, so many
Exactly.
differences. But
people don't know. They don't know. They can't tell by looking at you how many of the experiences we share
Yeah.
And that's where that bridge is formed. That's where that connection is made. And that's why you can't judge, because you have no idea what someone has been through and what they've come through.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
Which leads me to my question, Phoenix.
Dad, holla at me.
Tell me about you. Who is Phoenix?
Oh, little old me? Okay, let me tell you about me. Nah, seriously. So, hey, people, Coach Phoenix again, man. So I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was raised by a single mother. My father left when I was about 4 years old. Growing up in Brooklyn was rough, man. I'm not going to even lie. And I know you hear everybody have a story. Everybody grew up in a tough situation, but like, I promise you, Gina, people that's from Brooklyn, they understand, especially New York City in the whole. You grow up fast in New York. By the time I was at the age of 13, 14, I was already a man. I was already making money on my own. I went to high school. So let me back up. So again, my mother raised me, my brother. So I have a brother. She raised my brother and I. But she was always at work. I had a really strong mother, hardworking mother. So I can't lie and say I came from a situation where my mother was selling her body or was on crack or any of those things. I had a really, really good mother, strong mother who raised me to be who I am today. However, as a young boy, of course, I'm looking for that guidance. I'm looking for that tangible me, a phrase that I coined. I'm gonna tell you about that later. But I'm looking for that tangible me, a guide that could show me how to be a man. So as I'm looking for that male figure, I found myself running into situations that led me in and out of the juvenile system, ultimately putting me into a situation where I was facing time to where I went to a program called the Phoenix House. I was at the Phoenix House where, although it was an alternative for jail, Gina, man, it was just like jail. I had numerous fights to the point where, so I didn't mention that. At 13, I joined the gang. And because of that gang, I found myself in a lot of situations. So when I was in the Phoenix House, I was like a bully. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of bullied. The guy you know now was definitely not the guy from back that I was back then. And because I was a bully, I got into a situation where I got jumped. And after I got jumped, I had to call my mother and let her know the situation. And my mother basically told me she moved. While I'm in the Phoenix House, and this is upstate New York. My mother moved, and again, my mother's not a bad mother, but it was a situation where like she had to let me get smacked and hit the floor. I had to grow up. She couldn't keep holding my hand. I remember every time I used to get locked up, I used to call my mother like, yo, locked up again, come scoop me. Because I was a juvenile until one particular time I asked her to come scoop me, and she was like, I'm not coming. So it reminded me of this situation when I called them, like, yo, I got jumped and I'm beat up, and I just needed my mother to tell me, like, I love you, and whatever words, you're a mother, what mothers tell their children at that time. And yeah, she told me she left. She moved down south to Richmond, Virginia. Being the person I am, I always was a tough person mentally, to where I had to persevere. Again, I told you, and I want to talk to you about that, being from like a small town and being naive. I always want to know, is it better to be naive, or is it better to have that street smarts? And I say that because although I had that street smarts at a young age, and again, I was living as a man, so 13, by the time I was 16, I had my own place, and I never returned home to a parent since then. I kind of missed out on being a kid and missed out on having those experiences. And I know you had similar experience. Like I got my GED, and I didn't get to that point, but I got my GED, you got your GED. So we missed out on things like the prom and things like that. However, I wasn't able to be a naive kid. And because of that, I don't know what's better. So please put in the comments, what is your take on it? Is it better to be naive as a young child and going into your adolescence years, or you think street smarts as a parent at that young age to help you develop as an adult? I would like to hear your thoughts. But so back to my story. So so after I had the phone call with my mother, I'm looking like, man, this can't be my life. What's next? And I decided to run away from the Phoenix House. So I ran away from the Phoenix House with the help of my girlfriend at the time, and I ended up in Job Corps. Job Corps saved my life. 5 months into Job Corps, I had a child. So I returned back to New York City, and I had a child at the age of 17. Gina, at that very moment, my life changed. Gina, I swear to God, at that very moment, I realized that I had to do something different. you know, when individuals going down the wrong path, it always takes something. So I tell you all, as you look at your life and you find yourself in a situation or a jam, look deep into yourself and try to find something that motivates you to turn the corner and do a 180. It's something in your life that you love or that motivates you. You just got to find it and open your eyes.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. It makes me think either you're going to find that moment or that moment's going to find you.
Exactly.
One way or another, it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of when and how. So if you have the choice to find the how and when, and you have the power to do that, it's way better than when it finds you and you end up in Phoenix house or cheating on your significant other.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Or, you know, again, some of those situations kind of help you. And I always think that, so let me tell you something, people, and I'm going to finish my story because I know y'all waiting on your seats, but I just want to give you this tidbit. More times than one, we find ourselves in jams and situations, right? And we look at it to where, like, man, I'm in this hole and I can't get out. If you had that type of mindset, the dirt is going to keep pouring on you and you're going to find yourself covered under the ground. However, if you look at that moment and find out the good, because it's always a good and bad, I promise you, I swear to God, like I just told you, Gina cheated on her husband, right? What happened, Gina? Now she's married and she's happily married and she living a model self. I went into so many different predicaments, went to the Phoenix house, that's the Phoenix house. I had a child. Most will look at that like I'm a statistic. Man, you have a child at 17, that's a hole. You think, oh man, I can't, I'm stuck. Or I could do two things, run away from my child and not claim it, or I could continue to do bad, like sell drugs and be like, oh, I need to make fast money. Or I could do the third option, which I'm about to tell you. You heard? So
much suspense. That was like an epic lead-in now.
Fact. They're waiting on his seat. So I'm about to give it to you. So after I had my child, I realized that at that exact moment, like, wow, there's more than life than me. So I went back to Job Corps. Within 6.5 months, I had my GED, I had my trade, and I was going to the United States Army. I joined the Army. I joined the Army in May. In September 6th, I graduated from basic training, right? I graduated from basic training September 6th, it's 2001. On September 11th, I'm marrying my then girlfriend. Mind you, I said then girlfriend, my girlfriend was not my child's mother. So I had a child by another woman, but my girlfriend, somebody different, I was going to marry her because in the Army, the culture was like, people marry young. So I was going to marry my girlfriend. I'm on the train going to New York, going to Manhattan from Brooklyn, and the train stops for a while. It reversed. I didn't like know it. No, we didn't get any message on why the train stopped or why the train reversed back to Brooklyn. But we got back to Brooklyn, they opened the door. They said, hey, this train is no longer running. So we left. He's like, we don't know what's going on. The train's not going to Brooklyn. I guess we do it tomorrow. We get married tomorrow or next week. When we get into my house, because I live in Brooklyn, I live right over the Brooklyn Bridge. So Manhattan is right across the Brooklyn Bridge, and I can see the smoke. So I see smoke. I'm like, what's going on? So I get home. 9/11 happened. Mind you, I just joined the Army that May. Right? And it's crazy because when my father came to my graduation, and I say my father, like, where did your father come from? So my father, 18 years later, after me doing all that bad, I joined the military. I get in contact with him while I'm in basic training because my grandmother passed away while I was in basic training. So I got in contact with my pops. So because we got in contact, I don't know if it's me doing well or him trying to step up. He came to my graduation and he was like, hey, dude, like, why you join the military? I'm like, join the military because I'm about to get some experience, and then I'm going to get out and I'm going to live my best life. I'm not going to war. We haven't been to war since Desert Storm. Then 9/11 happened. Right? I'm telling you. So after that, I went to my first duty station in Fort Hood, Texas. So that was September. October 19th, I married not my girlfriend, but my child's mother. I say it again. I married not my girlfriend, but my child's mother. Yes. And what happened was I get to the Army post and I see dudes my age and females my age with families and raising their children. And I came from a situation where I didn't have that. So I spoke to my uncle who moved to New York and was in Texas. And he asked me like, yo, are you going to change the cycle? And what he meant is like, if I'm going to do something different. So not knowing, and my uncle meant the best at the time, not knowing, I tried to do what was right. And I married my child's mother, broke up with my girlfriend, and her and I had 4 children together and was married for 12 years. I also, at that time, went to Iraq. So when I went to Iraq, I got a cool story, and I'm not BSing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you that I'm not BSing. Y'all wait just one moment. So when I was in Iraq, I'm gonna lead into the story. So when I was in Iraq, we just came off a mission, and I was already booked like 12 hours of what we say is patrol. So that means we was in a Humvee and we patrolling it, making sure at that particular time, the Iraqis was on, they had a curfew, and we was making sure they adhered to the curfew. Individuals that didn't adhere to the curfew, we suspected as terrorists and then apprehend them and bring them in. So we did that patrol for 12 hours, and I got back to my base. Once I get back to my base, I hear my platoon sergeant like, "Hey, everyone, wheels on deck." Wheels on deck means everybody to attention. We need everybody to formation. You gather up all the troops. So basically, they told us that we had to go on another mission. I'm like, oh man, I just got off 12 hours, right? So we go to this. Everybody, the whole unit have to leave, go to this mission. So I'm pulling something called out of cordon. Out of cordon is only cordon is you pulling out of security. So you're making sure that the perimeter is secure. Basically, so we were securing the perimeter. I get tapped on my back like, "Hey, my God, we caught." They was like, "Congratulations, everybody!" Like, "Oh, what you mean?" And I'm looking like I'm confused. Like, "Congratulations, who are these people?" They have beards, they have regular clothes on. I don't know what's going on. They said, "We caught Saddam Hussein." I was part of the mission that caught Saddam Hussein. And people, I know everybody comments, right? We're gonna blow up. We bulls crapping. Look at this. Can you see it?
I cannot see it.
It says 442 Field Artillery Battalion, that's my unit. Specialist Capers, that's me. In Aldor, Iraq, so that's ADDAWR. Saddam Hussein captured in Aldor, Iraq, 13 December 2003. That's me, you heard? I was part of that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I wasn't one of the individuals that got him out the hole and did all that. I didn't even see him. I didn't even know what we was doing. But I was there, you heard?
You were there, and also in order for other people to be able to do their jobs, they need you to do your job.
Me and everybody
and you did your job, and your battalion did their job.
Me and the guys that was with me, man, and the guys that didn't make it, man. Shout out to everybody that served, man. Shout out to everybody that served. Let's cheers to the veterans and the people that are active duty in the National Guard and the reserves, man.
Cheers.
So I returned. So the whole time I'm in Iraq, I'm getting cheated on, right? So I'm dealing with what and I'm not blaming her because, like you, I was young. Mind you, I was 18, married.
It's still a shitty thing. Like I
don't blame her on fault her because I was doing wrong because we were both young. And that's what you understand. It's like, think about because you, just like you, 18, I mean, Gina, everybody, people could say, "Oh my God, you cheated on her husband." Dog, you was with him when he was 16 and you was 21 when that happened. Like you didn't learn, you didn't even experience anything. And the people who judge and think about what you were when you was 16, you was 18, and the things that you was doing. You was probably living your best life, and we didn't live our best life. So we was living our best life while in the situation that we was doing that we thought was right. So don't judge. When you put your fingers, there's 3 fingers pointing right back at you, you heard?
And the thing that you said too about your uncle meaning well and saying, like, are you gonna do the right thing? Those words haunt me to this day. People who say, "Are you going to do the right thing?" And it's like, well, the right thing according to whom?
Exactly.
According to you, according to whom? And that's exactly the life that I was leading, is that, well, it was the right thing according to God. So it didn't matter what my heart wanted. It didn't matter what I was meant for. It didn't matter. My feelings, my thoughts didn't matter because what God wanted mattered. And that was the right thing. And it messes up everything when you go down that path.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God loves you no matter what. Like, it's not about that.
And I was going to say that. So before anybody start judging and think she's talking ill about God, that's not what she's doing. You need to hear exactly what she said. She's saying the individuals that's preaching this stuff and using God to push their message. That's who she's talking about. God bless both of us, and we both wouldn't be in the position that we're in now, trying to help you all, if we don't believe that there was a higher power to help us and bless us to get there. So yeah,
100%.
just in case you misinterpret.
Yeah, it's other people putting their right and wrongs on your life.
And using God to preach to push their message. So it's just
Exactly.
But yeah. So when I returned and I was turned to all that headache, man. I was actually about to get put out the military because, like, again, I was still Brooklyn. I had no person to like guide me, and I was a knucklehead, man. I was a real knucklehead. And before I could get kicked out, speaking of God, I was blessed to be to receive a transfer to Kansas. And when I received that transfer to Kansas, it blocked them from kicking me out the military, and that was my new start. Thank you. So when I went to Kansas, I changed my freaking life. Out of like 5,000 soldiers, and that's an estimate. I received honors as Soldier of the Year. I went through like a board, and you had to do different things. So out of all the soldiers, not the NCOs, not like the leadership, but the soldiers,
Sure.
out of all the soldiers, I was the number one to receive Post Soldier of the Year. And then I was nominated for a program to send me back to college to receive my degree in sociology at Virginia State. Shout out to the Trojans, where I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi in the world. New, yo. Yeah.
So hold on.
Yeah. Pump the brakes. What's up?
So 13, 14, 15-year-old Phoenix.
Yes.
Did he ever think that he would be where you were, getting Soldier of the Year, going to college? Like, did you ever see that as the future for yourself?
You want to know something? I did, but not in that way. I didn't know, and that's this thing that I'm saying. I want to touch the kids that comes from the neighborhood. Not even, they don't even have to be neighbors like mine, just kids that don't believe it. They don't have those figures to show them. So I was a kid, you said 13, 14-year-old Phoenix. Let me tell you about 13-year-old, 14-year-old Phoenix. He used to sit in the auditorium and see kids get on the stage and get awards, honor roll, best attendance, all of the, even with best attendance, just to get on the stage. And I wanted that. I needed that. I was like, I'm gonna fucking get there. I promised myself. I just didn't know how to get there because I wasn't smart in my mind enough, because I ain't had those individuals to tell me like, you're smart, you're this, you're that. You know what I'm saying? I had a good mother to tell me like, baby, it's not you, it's them. So that's why I'm me, unapologetically, because of her. But I had that male figure. So 13, 14, 15-year-old Phoenix, yes, he did believe that he was going to be there, but not in that format, like getting a master's degree, getting Soldier of the Year. No, yeah. I knew it was going to be some type of greatness. I couldn't imagine it'd be that big. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you were destined for it. I mean, you knew that it was, like you said earlier, it was who you are. It is who you are at your core, regardless of everything that you went through, regardless of the mistakes that you made. Right. That is who you are.
Exactly. So
yeah, please continue.
No. So after graduating from college and becoming an officer, I went back to combat, but this time it was Afghanistan, where I led 75 troops to war and we all returned, all my troops returned home safely. Then I was like, you know what? It was time to get out, went into the civilian world. I killed it in the civilian world. So this is what you were saying, 13, 14 on Phoenix. I never thought I would be a corporate giant. I never thought I would work for the likes of Amazon on a corporate senior management level. International paper, made it to become a consultant. And then after I killed corporate and I was in the consulting field, I had a passion, like, you know what? I'm not living my true life. Like you said, I was destined for something. And my destiny was to be a consultant, helping companies make billions and billions of dollars. It was to go back to my neighborhood, go back to kids that look like me or come from social economic situations like me, to let them know, like, hey, look at me, feel me, touch me, so they could become billionaires and they could become millionaires and they could make something else out their life besides what society told them that they should be. So yeah. I thought that route was in coaching football. And shout out to the Hoyas, Georgetown University, man. They gave me an opportunity as an intern, as a D1 football coach, and I never played football.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man. Like people, good people know people, you know what I'm saying? So shout outs to my man Harrison. He's the owner and CEO of a nonprofit called Soldiers to Sidelines. That was my avenue to get into Georgetown. as an intern. I did that, loved the program, loved the experience, but I realized that that wasn't for me. So I took another route to try to figure out my passion. And that landed me as a life coach, man, because I realized through all these experiences that I had, I was blessed by God to share that with other individuals that don't understand their path, and help them down that road and be their model self, because that's me. I'm living my model life, my model self, and I'm always happy, Gina. You see the smile?
It's a real smile. You're not faking that.
Nah,
And
I
it's
can't.
not the drinks either.
Nah. Don't blame it on the goose, and don't have me feeling loose, man.
Yeah, that idea of kind of reaching back into the history of who you were and saying, like, I want to go back and help 13, 14, 15-year-old Phoenix to arrive where I am now without the pain, without that, even though like those things can absolutely contribute to who you are and they can teach you a lot of things. Like,
But
but
they're
if
gonna
you,
have the pain. Gina, they're gonna have the pain already because they living in the pain.
that's,
And
yeah.
living in the pain, like you just said, it contributes to their success. I tell everybody every time they say, Phoenix, man, you're so smart. I remember one time being in a position where I was an officer at the time, I was a lieutenant. And I just finished briefing the general. We was on a field exercise, and I was getting all these accolades. And my commander, colonel, came to me. He said, man, Phoenix, you're like, you could tell you came from a really, really good background. And I laughed in my head. He said, man, you're so smart. Education would really get you somewhere. In my mind, I'm thinking like a master's degree. The streets is my education. And I'm not just saying that I'm saying it in a way that I was already negotiating before I was in procurement, negotiating for corporate America. I was already taught how to haggle and to get a fitted cap for a lower price, because that's what the streets taught me. And not saying anything other than the things that I learned today, like look in somebody's eyes when I speak to them, shake their hand firmly, keep my head up when I walk. I didn't learn that from anywhere else. I didn't learn that from an etiquette class or anything other than Brooklyn. You heard?
Yeah.
Shout out to Warner's, GP Rock, and Bedford Stuyvesant, man. They raised me.
I am unsurprised that Hamilton is your favorite musical.
Oh yeah,
it is like the story of your life. Like, he's hustling.
Ain't no telling where I've been, but just you wait, just you wait. That's exactly.
This, like, it could have been written about you. But exactly that, that he's hustling when he's a teenager, like his mom dies, he has to figure it out. You have to figure it out. And that's the thing too, is that I think that unfortunately some people are not fortunate enough or lucky enough or blessed enough or whatever word you want to use to get that second chance. There's so many people who grow up either in poverty. Like, I avoided the statistic of becoming pregnant as a teenager, getting into drugs. My childhood best friend is in prison for attempted murder. Like, he did go down that path. He did become that statistic of.
What you think, like, and how you, like, so I don't have survivor's remorse, but I deal with that, especially like my buddies and pals, my comrades from when I was in the military, and from just growing up in Brooklyn. Like, say in my projects, especially the kids my age, I hung out with at least 3,000 kids. And I don't know, that number might be outrageous, but maybe not, because I was big, grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and it was that many, like 500, 600 kids my age. And most of them was probably smarter than me. And a lot of my friends is not on my level. And then when I say my level, I'm not talking my level of success. I'm just saying on my level as far as not having any felonies, that level. And just that. And it's sad because it's not their fault, all of their faults. And what I mean is not their faults, is that without guidance, how do you know where to go? TV used to be my that was my father, TV in the streets. So to your point, man, it's sad. So in your situation, why do you think that you went left and your friend went right? Coming from the same neighborhood.
I think about those things pretty frequently, and about why my life did not go a different direction, because it really should have. I don't have an answer for it. I mean, I know we've touched on God a little bit. I'm unashamedly an agnostic. I don't believe in the Christian God per se, but I do believe in some higher power, some guidance, the universe, something, because for the fact that I'm where I am today makes no sense, like no statistical sense. I should not be here. But I also look at that, and I look at the people who helped me throughout my life. I mean, to your point, even TV, one of my inspirations as a kid was Mr. Rogers, like teaching me kindness and teaching me, that when you're angry, there's an alternative to fighting. You can go run as fast as you possibly can, or, whatever that is, and teaching young children how to process in a positive manner their feelings. There were these influences that I had, and also the privilege that I had too of going to college, or whatever it was, of knowing people in the church who took me in and let me live with them for free or whatever. And I recognize that not everybody has that privilege. My friend who's in prison, like, he didn't have that privilege, and that makes a huge difference. And being able to, exactly to your point, that tangible meat, right? Like that's what 13, 14, 15-year-old Phoenix needed. You had your mother, amazing woman she sounds like.
Yeah,
I would
she's
love
an
to meet her
awesome
one
woman,
day.
man. Mom, too, man. Yeah, she's an awesome woman. But to your point, and everybody, I'm throwing this word out, but they don't know what this is. So let me
Yes,
tell you,
please.
about the word that I coined, tangible me. So tangible me is a person that comes from a certain background who made an about face and went back to that environment to show individuals like himself or herself that you could make it. You could be me. Touch me, feel me, smell me, see me. I'm you and you're me. And that's the tangible me.
Yeah. It's so powerful, Phoenix. Representation matters. Having someone that who has gone through what you are going through and has come out the other side matters.
It does, because you got to think about programs, and shout out to Big Brothers Big Sister program, because they have the right intention. But we need programs like Tangible Me through role model life coaching. We need programs like that those kids, we don't need. So everybody know, I hope most people know this saying, you could give a man a fish and he'll eat for the day, but you could teach a man how to fish and he'll eat for life. So you could teach a kid. So Big Brothers Big Sisters, you could take a kid out of his environment for a day or a week and buy him this and that for today, but he's going back to that environment, going around those same people, and when you're not there, those other influences are influencing him or her. Yeah. However, if you have somebody that's a tangible me, and that individual see him, touch him, feel him, that person not giving them a fish. He teaching them the lessons that he himself used from this same environment to navigate through to their model self. So that's what, I'm saying, a tangible me does, and that's why it's necessary. And that's the difference between that type of program and other programs, because it's teaching people how to fish, man. That's what we need. We need guidance. We need direction.
Yeah. And I mean, and having all of those programs work together to, if you're starving, it's like, I just want the damn fish. Like, give me the fish. And then I can think about fishing.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's definitely a fact.
So, but being able to take it one step further than that and say, like, this is what you can achieve on your own. You have it within you to do this, and you can, and being able to support people in doing that. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Phoenix, everybody, if you're not coaching with Coach Phoenix, you are missing out. I mean, if you haven't discovered from his stories so far how amazing he is and what he has been through and what he's accomplished, like, I don't know why you're watching the show, because
I think they're watching the show because they're looking in the mirror and they could see they problems in themselves and you as well. And they realize that, yo, Coach Gina is the seriously, your passion and your experiences and your perspective, Gina, I really appreciate them, man. And I think it's a touch and it help a lot of individuals. So definitely reach out to Coach Gina, man. Tap on that link at the bottom, check out her website, and, man, give her a shot, because she could definitely take you to the new level, that next level, if you're an entrepreneur. And if you're a woman, and she could help you be empowered in ways that you probably didn't know that you can be empowered because of the experience she went through. So let her touch your life and help you move forward, you heard? If you need that.
Phoenix, you're so sweet.
So, I don't know if you know this, don't crack jokes on me, but I switched up. It's not because I don't want to drink. It's because I drunk it all.
We're going to have to prepare a little bit more next time.
I know.
Or make a shorter episode.
Exactly. But with that being said, man, I think this is a good time to like wrap it up and give the people some suspense and let them wait for next episode, which is going to be a really, really good one. So you might want to tune in. You heard? You got a special guest.
We have special guests coming up. To Phoenix's point, tomorrow there will be actually more of us.
Exactly.
So every week we're going to be doing a new topic, choosing to a new topic, having some guests on. Tell us what you all want to hear about. If you want to hear more about our experiences and, those flip sides that we've experienced, of our individual experiences, and ask us questions, just tell us what you think, what you want to know about starting a business, going to school, growing up in New York, whatever it is. Let us know. We want to talk to you.
Like if you're in the military, if you experience some type of like traumatic experience, and you just want to know, hey, like, how did y'all get through this? How was y'all able to persevere? We really want to hear from you. And the point is, hopefully, to get to a point where y'all could join us live and we could just talk to you directly and showcase some of our coaching techniques to help guide the conversation and guide you all to like a better you. You heard? So 100%. With that being said, I think it's time for my favorite part of the show, and that's our thing of the week. You heard?
Yes.
So my thing of the week, man, I'm just going to give you my role model mindset. This is my mentality, and this is what I live by. Be happy over everything. I say it again. Be happy over everything. Hashtag be whole. You heard? That's my thing of the week. Gina?
So clever, Phoenix.
I live by that, man.
I also like that you're throwing out the freebies there. You're just giving your mantra right away.
I know. I mean, I'll talk later, but I have to give them a reason to come back, you heard?
Yeah, that's a deep well. That's a very deep well. That's just the surface. So my thing of the week is actually a podcast that I've been listening to lately. It's called The Happiness Lab. It was developed by Dr. Laurie Santos. So she is a Yale professor, and she actually studied the science of happiness. And she turned it into a class, which is to this day the highest enrolled class of Yale ever. In the 300 years that Yale has existed, this class is the most requested, the most desired class to be part of.
And I like how you made that correlation and that connection between my thing of the week and your thing of the week with the umbrella of what? Happiness. You heard?
Yeah.
I like that you did that. Yeah. And that wasn't planned, everyone. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. You will find everybody in these episodes that, like I said, Phoenix and I met a month ago. We actually know very little about each other, but the more that we discuss, the more that we find out about each other, the more we find we have in common, or the experiences that we went through that are just opposite sides of the same coin. So
together, like, just help, like, join us and get to know each other together. You heard?
Yeah. So I am going to throw the link for the Happiness Lab down below. There is going to be the link for both mine and Phoenix's website. If you want to come check us out, come work with us, please do. We would love to hear from you. Those links will be down below as well.
Check us out. Make sure you subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, like the page, tell a friend to subscribe to the show. Follow us on Instagram, check out our website. Thank you for joining us. I really, really appreciate you. I know Gina does as well. Tune in next week for an exciting episode with our special guest. And
yeah. Have a great night, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.